And then Burton starts yelling some slam poetry at Santa and Eiynk. I don't know how else to explain it, that's what he does.
You fools can't see the genius that's in me!
We all make mistakes. We would have made a big one if Jennifer hadn't been with us.
Funny story, actually. We were gonna murder you. But, Jennifer told us not to, so we didn't. All's well that ends well, huh? Hello, lovely people. My name is Emma. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you are new. It's Crimbus, almost. It's Crimbus time. What better way to celebrate than to talk about an iconic Christmas movie? Today, of course, we are taking a look at the 1995 classic, The Christmas Light. If you somehow haven't heard of this movie, don't worry, the poster has a good comparison for you. If you liked Toy Story, you'll love The Christmas Light. As I say, The Christmas Light was released in 1995, the same year as Toy Story, the same year that I was born. 1995 heralded a period of darkness. The Christmas Light was written, directed and produced by a single man, Michael DeVito. It was produced by Dios Animation Studios, a US studio, which I have never heard of. But judging by their IMDb page, it seems they kept up the same level of quality for a good long time. Let's just crack right on. Today's pointer is a little Molang bunny holding a strawberry, because Christmas is all about, well, it's the only red one that I have. I think I'm having a seizure. Oh, never mind. It's just the Scimitar logo. Scimitar, founded in 1985, bankrupt in 2000. Their only sort of claim to fame is releasing and re-releasing a bunch of Godzilla movies on VHS and then DVD. And also, I guess, The Christmas Light. I wanted to wear the hat, but dog, I'm sweating. We jump straight in with an angelic choir singing over a beautiful festive lounge. Except that's not actually part of the movie, it's just the title screen. And this beautiful festive title screen is higher quality than anything we will see in the actual film. We actually start on the snowy mountainscape at night. If you're quick enough to read the sign before it immediately disappears, you'll work out that we are in, of course, the North Pole. That's where Santa lives.
Deep in the barren lands of the Arctic, there sits a compound.
A compound. Doesn't sound very festive. Doesn't look very festive either. I don't want to throw any shade at this narrator, Dan Haggerty. I have no idea if he was a professional voice actor or not, but the way he slurs about 20% of the words, it makes it sound like he was still a bit drunk from a big night the night before he came to the studio. So at the tippity top of this terrifying looking compound is Santa's own sparsely decorated office. And here is the man himself. Dan tells us that toy production is down, which we can see illustrated in this stonks graph that Santa is looking at despondently. I think. It is a little bit hard to judge his expression for some reason.
Santa is very worried.
Ah, thank goodness for Dan. Santa goes to visit his most inventive elf, Eiynk, who has come up with a new way to build toy trains. The way Santa walks in this is very horror game coded. I am afraid. We can immediately tell that Eiynk is the brainy elf because he always has a pencil tucked behind his ear. He hits the button to demonstrate his toy machine. He uses it to make a toy train for a little boy called Tommy, I think. The sound of wood sawing is extremely loud in this bit, and it was very hard to make out the narration for a second.
Toy train for a little boy named Tommy.
Essentially, you plug a piece of wood in and out pops a train. Eiynk has basically invented a 3D printer.
We can build more trains for children in less time.
What is this thing you humans call love? I don't know why Eiynk talks like a robot or an alien, but I'm here for it, honestly. Santa is of course thrilled with this invention, which he demonstrates by clapping slowly 3 times. Starting to think everybody in the North Pole is a robot, a voice suddenly yells over the speakers demanding that Santa comes to his lab immediately. Santa brings Eiynk along to see what Burton wants this time. And so we are introduced to Burton Lemon, who, given the sinister music and dim lighting that he comes with, I think is a good guy. Narrator Dan refers to him as Eiynck's chief competitor, which I thought was a really weird way to talk about your Santa's elf colleague. But then I remembered that this action is taking place in Santa's terrifying compound, so I guess it kind of checks out.
The other elves don't like Lemon, and they all call him the Lemon behind his back.
Poor fucking Burton. Why are the elves so mean to him? Like, where is the festive spirit? Burton is hated by all the elves, he's called names, he's wearing nerdy little glasses, and he's pacing up and down when Eiynk and Santa arrive, so I immediately identify with this character, and I hope nothing bad happens to him. Seriously, this is like if my high school experience got made into a villain arc. Burton welcomes them to his lab, which is pretty weird because a second ago it sounded like they visit a lot. His lab has, like, blast doors. It's giving mad evil scientist vibes, and once again, I am here for it. Santa asks Burton Lemon what he wants to show today, and it seems like he has now perfected the 3D printer. He claims his new machine can build any toy.
Now we don't have to waste our time building toys from Eiynck's foolish designs.
Burn! The toy maker rivalry is real.
We won't need these goofy little elves running around here anymore.
But Burton goes off on a bit of a villainous monologue, to be honest, about how this invention will prove he's the greatest toy maker ever, even better than Santa. He's going a bit Elon Musk right now, it's awkward. He starts up his machine for a demonstration, and it's looking pretty dang high-tech from the start. Look at this 3D toy train wireframe on this high-tech monitor. He is outshining Eiynk from the get-go, to be honest. The machine poops out a colourful toy train, and weirdly the narration here is kind of a spoiler, because Dan explains that it starts to shake before it's even pooped out of the poop tube. Anyway, the train fucking explodes, and Santa and Eiynk are not super impressed, obviously. They prefer the toys don't explode on impact.
A minor glitch.
Burton, bro, I've been on your side here, man, but what kind of glitch makes your toy explode?
But I can't use it. It's just too dangerous.
But why?
Because the toys it makes explode, Burton. It's not even too dangerous, it's non-functional. You don't even have time to wrap it before it disintegrates. Burton assures Santa that his machine will work fine when the time comes, and fair enough, but maybe don't show it to him until you've worked out the explosion glitch. Ah! The music really kicks up a notch as Burton runs away dramatically. I feel like we're about to get a Kevin Bacon Footloose angry dance scene. But no, he just stops on a corner of this jagged walkway and starts to cry a bit. Burton. And then Burton starts yelling some slam poetry at Santa and Eiynk. I don't know how else to explain it, that's what he does.
You fools can't see the genius that's in me!
This might be a good time to mention that this film is kind of a musical. It has 2 songs, but they're in-world songs, and the whole thing is only 23 minutes, so is it a musical? I don't know. The poem revolves around the notion that Burton is the one, the funniest line being, "You'll rue the day that you had your way with me." And I can't help but feel that this is maybe an overreaction to Santa saying that he can't use his machine yet because it's too dangerous. Because, again, the toys it makes explode immediately. Starting to see why no one likes Burton Lemon, to be honest. Burton? Take it easy, buddy. Why don't you just take a breath? You're having a little bit of a moment. Just come away from the edge of that terrifying jagged walkway and...
Burton's gone. Poor Burton.
Burton's gone. Poor Burton. Eiynk says this immediately. He doesn't even... 3 seconds have passed. Neither Eiynk nor Santa goes to look and see if he's okay. They don't know how far he's fallen. They're just like, oh no, he's dead. Oh well. Now, of course, as per one of my favourite seasonal sayings, Christmas is not about presents. It's about his presence. Him being, of course, Mr. Jesus Christmas. While most of us are resigned to wait for the second coming, 2,000 years tardy is a little bit rude, actually, Jesus. The people of Lucerne in Switzerland have had the opportunity to speak to him directly, or at least a creepy AI version of him, and I wanted to share this story with you. According to longtime partner and today's sponsor Ground News, Swiss AI Jesus' project to bridge digital and the divine draws users praise as questions remain. Questions certainly remain for me. According to Associated Press, researchers and religious leaders on Wednesday released findings from a 2-month experiment through art in a Catholic chapel in Switzerland, where an avatar of Jesus on a computer screen, tucked into a confessional, took questions by visitors on faith, morality and modern-day woes, and offered responses based on scripture. The idea, said the chapel's theological assistant, was to recognise the growing importance of artificial intelligence in human lives, even when it comes to religion, and explore the limits of human trust in a machine. I find using one religion's messiah to do this a little bit strange, personally. As much as people are aware this is AI, there are plenty talking about the experience as if Jesus himself had actually interacted with them. We Got This Covered quoted some participants. Someone else explained how AI Jesus' wisdom and compassion were almost enough to make him forget he was talking to a machine. I was surprised it was so easy, one man recalled, and though it's a machine, it gave me so much advice. Also, from a Christian point of view, I felt taken care of, and I walked out really consoled. Given that AI has been giving people advice like, pick and eat this deadly mushroom, and end your own existence, young teenager, I worry a bit about the readiness people have to trust AI Jesus. I also think AI as a term is misleading. I have this issue with the whole AI discussion in general. If we called it large language model Jesus and removed the overemphasis on intelligence, I think people would be less likely to think of AI Jesus as an intelligent being that can creatively produce advice. That's not what this is. But slapping the face of Jesus on the model makes it inherently trustworthy. As you might expect, this is a story that has significantly different coverage across the political spectrum. Left-leaning sources emphasise the contentious discourse around the experiment. Right-leaning sources are generally more concerned with the potential for AI Jesus and similar experiments to detach people from an authentic religious experience. Centre-leaning sources give a more general overview of the mixed reactions to combining faith and technology. Ground News makes it really easy to compare the political biases and the factuality ratings of all sources on a particular story, all backed by ratings from 3 independent news monitoring organisations. If you're looking to broaden your news consumption, I highly recommend the Blind Spot feed. It shows you news that's had very little or no reporting on one side of the political spectrum. You can see what you've missed and what people in different political bubbles than you are consuming. It's my favourite way to catch up on particularly the political news that I might have missed in my own bubble. Right now you can get 50% off the Vantage plan, which is less than $5 a month for unlimited access to all features. It's a great little Christmas present to yourself or a loved one. Let's be honest, Christmas is a little bit about presents. While we're still waiting for the J-Man to return, we might as well share some presents. Go to ground.news/Emma Thorne, scan the QR code, click on the link down below. Make yourself a smarter news consumer with Ground News. Thank you very much for listening. Back to the Christmas light. Evidently Burton fell into some part of his toy-making machine, because next thing you know, the toy machine poops out a frozen Burton. Burton Lemon Ice Pop. Would it be lemon-flavoured? Sorry, Burton, that was cruel. That was cruel given the circumstances. I'm sorry. It poops out this frozen Burton, which Isaac immediately pokes, and it shatters. Isaac! But in the place the ice fell, a snowman is born! I say snowman. It's made of ice. Iceman? And it has strong eyebrow game.
From this day on, I am no longer Burton Lemon. I am forevermore a snowman.
Oh, okay. He came to terms with that pretty quickly. Now that Burton Lemon has transformed into the snowman, he has strong eyebrow game, he can also fly, and he has this deep, spooky, echoey voice. Hard to imagine what settings the toy machine was on to produce such an effect.
And you will rue the day you had your way with me.
Man, don't say it again. I don't think that means what you think it means, Burton. Snowman? Snowman says that this year there will be no Christmas. He's going to create a huge blizzard, and I guess if you've just been reincarnated as a frozen snowman who can fly, you might as well also have the power of blizzard. He does an evil laugh and then floats away.
The snowman flees the complex, going south at a high speed.
Well, I guess speed is relative, isn't it? Santa, in a really nonplussed voice, asks Isaac, what are we gonna do? We can't let the snowman ruin Christmas. Points to Santa for immediately accepting Burton Lemon / the snowman's change of name. Luckily, Isaac has an idea. He has a new invention. Weirdly, he says that he never had the chance to show Santa this, which you just called Santa to see a different invention 2 minutes ago, like, what are you talking about? You know when movie dialogue just dialogues without it actually making sense? The writer thinks it's fine because it's just sort of generic as hell. It's like when a character is late and we discuss it for a whole scene even though it has nothing to do with their character or the plot or anything really relevant at all. This is basically that. I hadn't had the chance to show you this new invention. What? That doesn't fucking make sense. We leave on that cliffhanger and transport to a child's bedroom window in the snow. It's Christmas Eve, the snowman's magic has begun to work, and it is storming like crazy, which we don't see because we are on the outside of the window looking into the children's house. You know what they say, tell don't show. 2 siblings, Jeffrey and Jennifer. I'm pointing, I don't know if you can see these. Most of this film is very dark, and it's from 1995. But I printed them out anyway, because I know you guys care about the board. This is for you. Okay, I won't be taking any complaints. I don't know why we have these 2 siblings. There's no hint of parent. Nothing is ever mentioned about parents. And Jeffrey is in this film for about 30 seconds and has no function other than being someone for Jennifer to talk to. Like, Jennifer could have been talking to a teddy bear, and it would have changed nothing about the story. This character is completely unnecessary, which is why I was not that upset that his picture printed really terribly. That's why I couldn't get a good picture of Jeffrey. Jeffrey and Jennifer are getting ready for bed. Bless them, Jeffrey is voiced by an actual child, so the acting is terrible.
Jennifer, it's snowing so hard. How will Santa ever get here?
The snowman is passing nearby, so the storm swells, at least according to narrator Dan. Again, we see none of what he's describing because it would be really cool and hard to animate. And Jeffrey is afraid, so Jennifer tells him about the Christmas light. That's the name of the movie!
There is a light.
Oh, okay. So Jennifer starts singing, and while the lyrics are actual dog shit, the singing is quite nice. The song is like a minute long, which doesn't sound very much, but the whole thing is only 23 minutes, so it's a pretty substantial chunk. We cut back to the rooftop of Santa's compound with a military drum beat in the background, and Eiynk shows Santa his latest invention, a military aircraft.
He calls it Sled 2.
Alright. That's pretty good.
Sled 2.
Standing by.
According to Eiynk, this bad boy reaches 3 times the speed of Santa's old sled. Which, if that was literally a sled, is not that impressive, because this looks like a fucking jet with skis. It flies over the compound, and I'm getting real Martin the Martian vibes for some reason.
It also has a secret weapon. External.
What the fuck is going on? External is a little robot probe that can see through any storm and guide Sled 2. Santa has a weird bit of dialogue where he's like, I'm not replacing my sled and reindeer with this contraption, but I will use it just this once. Like, okay. Nobody asked. Eiynk doesn't respond to that either, which makes it extra funny. So, fast and epic though Sled 2 might be, they immediately become lost in the storm. What happened to External? That could see through any storm and guide the... From a minute ago?
Santa, what should we do?
I am always guided by the Christmas light.
What?
Fly this thing and keep your eyes open for a bright light in the sky.
Is Santa just navigating by the stars? Just then, a transmission comes in. Press X to receive. I realised later that the X means external. Which is probably obvious to most of you, but it wasn't to me. It looks like a house is being lit up by an extra bright star. And that is not how anything works. That's a spotlight. That star's gotta be a helicopter. Anyway, Santa is sure that this house must contain the answer to their problem. Guess whose house it is? Cut back to the house and Santa literally Star Trek teleports into Jennifer and Jeffrey's room. And he's like, hey, Jennifer, wake up. Santa tells Jennifer the whole story, Bert and Lemon becoming the snowman, the blizzard, the Christmas light. She agrees to help, of course.
I'll dress warmly. It's cold outside.
Yep. I mean, yep, there's a blizzard outside, like we were just talking about. Kind of a redundant thing to say, but it turns out the purpose is so that Santa can reply and be like, don't even worry about it, bro. Don't even junk yourself. I've got a new sled. Then he clicks his heels like Dorothy and they teleport onto Sled 2. It's all very normal. Eiynk doesn't even say hi, he's just like, okay, let's go. Go where? Who knows?
Just as Eiynk speaks, he spots the snowman.
Thank goodness Eiynk pre-programmed this snowman alert into the Sled 2. They catch up with Snowman's floating head. It's very Voyage dans la Lune. Snowman is like, brilliant, you've brought a random child. Now I'll destroy you all. Bro, I know you had a vendetta against Santa Corp or whatever, but do you need to be so pro-child murder all of a sudden? This is not helping your case. He squeezes his giant frozen head into a saw blade and rolls towards Sled 2. That is what happens. I like the way his head rolls around like he's a pool ball. Then he turns into a missile. He always has his top hat though. He has consistent branding, if nothing else. Eiynk launches X, as in external.
He encircles the snowman.
No, he doesn't. He circles the snowman. I get what you're saying, it's wrong. External the robot has some kind of beam that stops the snowman and then starts to melt him. I guess he might as well have. Let's not forget that Eiynk invented this all pre the snowman problem existing. Why did he invent a giant melty laser beam? At this point I was really wondering, like, what Jennifer is actually here for, because they seem to have the problem in hand. But then Eiynk is like, say the word, Santa, and I'll destroy him. And Jennifer says, no, you'll kill Burton. Did the Christmas light really force them to take a child along just to remind Santa that murder is wrong? Really? Eiynk really wants to kill Snowman, but Jennifer is like, please, and that's that. They don't do it.
X, Come back.
Isaac sounds so annoyed that he didn't get to murder his former colleague. Snowman is like, haha, you fools, now I will destroy you. And then he turns into a big hand to wave them goodbye.
The snowman unleashes his most powerful weapon.
Yeah, he's been a giant saw blade and a missile, and generally he can fly and cause blizzards. But his most dangerous weapon is turning into a fist and giving Sled 2 a gentle punt. Sled 2 has crash-landed! I think it looks fine, actually. But Santa tells Isaac to get busy with repairs, so I guess it's busted in some way. Isaac knows where the snowman is because he spotted his cave, so I guess Snowman has already made his own villainous lair. While Santa and Isaac are repairing Sled 2, Jennifer sneaks out, and we watch her walk off into the snow for an uncomfortably long time.
About 10 minutes later...
Isaac, where's Jennifer?
It took Santa 10 minutes to work out that the little girl he basically kidnapped is missing. This ship has like one room, it's not that big. They go after Jennifer and we watch them walk off into the snow for an uncomfortably long time.
Realizing that she has gone to the snowman's cave, Santa and Isaac go after her.
Jennifer makes it to the cave, slowly. Oh, so slowly. And here's Snowman.
There's a light of goodness, even in you.
Why does this suddenly feel like some kind of Mormon children's show?
The Christmas light is in us all. Especially now, at Christmas.
Really, Jennifer? The Christmas light? Also, how can a light be in you especially? What does that mean? Like, the Christmas light is always on inside you, but it cranks up a few lumens at actual Christmas? What are you talking about?
The Christmas light.
Oh no. Jennifer starts singing her Christmas song, but this time Snowman joins in.
Ain't no way, there ain't no way.
The Christmas light is inside you, inside your heart.
Ain't no way, no matter what you say.
The Christmas light is inside you.
Ain't no way, Christmas light, no matter what you... Repeatedly, just back and forth. It seems like I'm exaggerating. I'm not. Maybe a little bit. For some reason, after Jennifer's third repetition of that terrible song, we cut back to Snowman to find him melting and now singing her song. Oh, God.
You did your best, and in the end, so did Burton, but it was not to be.
What? Jennifer is like, no, I won't give up on this person I've never met who turned into an evil snowman and I just melted with the power of song.
And then a miracle happens.
What? Yeah, so the snow unmelts and Burton Lemon is back. Burton thanks Jennifer for saving him, and she didn't do anything though. She just sang a song, not even a song, like a line, and then said, I won't give up. And he just formed out of a pile of melted ice. Anyway, Burton Lemon has learned his lesson about trying to prove he's better than everyone else.
Santa and Isaac were my friends.
Isaac definitely wasn't. If he'd had his way, you would have been melted to death by a laser beam like 10 minutes ago. Also, everyone hated him and called him names behind his back. Remember that? They were not his friends at Santa's compound.
We all make mistakes. We would have made a big one if Jennifer hadn't been with us.
Funny story, actually. We were gonna murder you. But, Jennifer told us not to, so we didn't. All's well that ends well, huh? Santa says, let's go. We've got a lot of work to do, but if we pull together, we can get it done. Except it's Christmas Eve, and they were already behind on toy production. Santa's two best elf inventors have been chasing each other in the blizzard all night. How could we possibly?
It's like all the evil I ever had, it left me and stayed with the snowman.
Sure, why not? Why can't that happen? It might as well. Burton says he now wants to dedicate his life to helping others. And Isaac is like, cool, me, Santa, and this kid we abducted can help. Burton says, we're the Christmas Brigade. And it's pretty clear the film wants to make that a thing, but it doesn't really make sense. Especially because Burton specifically says he wants to bring the magic of Christmas to every day. They should have been called the Everyday Brigade. Hey, Sled 2 can do vertical takeoff. That's pretty cool.
Every year on Christmas Day, we celebrate the birth of the Christmas light.
I don't think that is the birth that we celebrate, unless you're using it as a metaphor, but it's very much a literal light in the film, so it doesn't translate super well into a Jesus metaphor. On that strange note, fade to black, and we're back to the Christmassy scene from the beginning, roll credits. And that's the Christmas light. The low-budget 90s CG is pretty cursed, but not that egregious for a small project of the time. It's really the writing that makes this a horrifying experience. Things just kind of happen. People just fall into parts of the story, literally, at some points. The narrator doesn't really narrate. It's more like he's just reading the stage descriptions and scene descriptions from the script. The actual Christmas light of the title, the sort of Deus Ex Machina, the Deus Ex Christmas of the movie, the Christmas light, isn't really explained. It doesn't really make sense. It's just like, the Christmas light is a bright light in the sky that will beam a spotlight onto where you need to go, but also it's inside you all the time, but especially at Christmas. The whole thing left me feeling slightly confused and a bit bereft, because my sympathies immediately went to the oft-bullied elf, Burton Lemon, and that was never actually resolved. Burton had to do all the growth, and then Santa and Eiynk laughed off nearly murdering him. I just felt very unsatisfied by the direction of the story. Burton Lemon deserved better. This film is too, whatever it is, however you would describe it, to have any reviews, but there were a few comments in the comment section that really made me laugh. Why does the snowman speak like a JRPG villain? Eiynk doesn't seem all that fazed that he watched his co-worker die in front of him. Oh no, he's gone. All the characters in this film give off the same aura as those smug-looking vintage Garfield plush toys, and I think that's just splendid. Honestly, so true. While the weather outside is frightful, his diss track is only room temperature. Do like this video if you liked it. Please let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know if you think this counts as a musical, because that is one other aspect of this that is baffling me. The poster also claims that this is the first animated Christmas movie, and I would love to know if that's true. So if you know of any earlier animated Christmas movies, hit me up. If you enjoyed this and you're looking for more festive fun, you can look at my video from last year on the Star Wars Holiday Special. There's also a whole playlist of movie reviews and recaps for you to enjoy. Do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already so you don't miss future videos. I must give a big old thank you and a shout out to my giant chickens and colossal quackers over on Patreon. Especially Connla. God damn it, Connla. Most importantly, have yourselves a very lovely week, enjoy your festive season, and I will see you really soon.